This presentation will deal with how to create, manage, and synchronize ACT dynamic groups with Outlook. ACT dynamic groups are a very easy and powerful manner to select smaller and dynamic data sample from your contacts database. They provide an avenue to synchronize a dynamic set of contacts filtered by a filtering criteria. For example, if you want contacts from a state like California, you set the state to be CA and you only get those contacts. This filtering can be done in a single or multiple fields. As well, a dynamic group can be created from the dynamic filtering mechanism as well as a combination of static and dynamic filtered contacts. The benefits of group synchronization is that you reduce the number of contacts that are being synchronized with your Outlook, your Exchange, or your smartphone. It slices a segment of your ACT database in which you are interested in, and it reduces overhead, space, memory on the smartphone, and speed. Let's go back to ACT and then create a dynamic group for us to use. To create a group, you simply click on the new and you type the group name. In this case, let's call it dynamic. And here we add the contacts for the group. On the group, you say at the top are the static members, at the bottom are the dynamic members. On the dynamic members, we'll just add a criteria. In this case, let's make it all the contacts that live in California. So we type a contact. Let's find a state. The state is California, all the way, over here. The state equal to CA, that's California. And we add this criteria to the list. And we say OK, and click OK. So now our group encompasses of all the members of all our contacts that are actually residing in California, or that have a state a state code of CA. So let's just go to the dynamic group now and create just a lookup so we can see how many contacts there are in this group. So we can see now that there are 28 contacts on the California group that belong to the dynamic group. Back in Outlook, we go and click on the folder view so we can see at all the folders, and we scroll down to Chris Huffman, which is the one we dealing with, and click on the contacts. We can see here there's no contacts, so now we're ready to start synchronizing. So we click on the synchronizer, we go to our contacts filter, and we say, okay, well, let's select the group that we just created, which is our dynamic group. Click on dynamic, select. So now we have our new dynamic group, and this group basically will make its way over to Outlook. That just to enable the removal of any Outlook groups that are not there, and just enable these options here. So click on process. So now we can see that Chris Huffman, which is our enabled user, is selected. We click on process. Here we'll go, the software goes and gets everybody from that group and creates them in Outlook, as well as any activity or meetings that are related to those contacts. Now we're done. So let's go back into Outlook, and here are all our contacts, 28 items for the contacts which are the ACT group dynamic that's been synchronized over to Outlook. So now let's go back to the dynamic group in ACT and add another filter on it. In this case, let's just add another filter, which let's call it probably New York. Let's get the state. And we'll select state to be New York. Equals New York NY. And we add to list. we do an or. So it's either be, the contacts are going to be either New York or California. We say OK. So going back to see how many contacts we have here, we now have 53 contacts. So what we've changed is the dynamic group now has New York and California contacts. So we go into our synchronizer, click on process, and it will basically go through all the contacts, and any new contacts that it finds will bring them over into Outlook. Any contact that already exists there, it will basically leave it alone. Any new contact, it will bring it over from Act over to Outlook. Let's click close, and now let's go back into Outlook and see what we have. Yeah, 53 contacts in Outlook. So now all these contacts are the new dynamic group that we have in Act. So let's play with our settings a little bit. Let's go to Add Remove Contacts in Act and edit our criteria. What we're going to do, let's just go to State again. Equals. Let's call Arizona, which is AZ. And we add that to the list. Let's just remove California. I remove New York. So what we've changed is all the contacts and everything on our dynamic lookup. So what we have now is a set of 19 contacts which are all in Arizona. Back in the synchronizer, I would like to point out the settings. We have the enable removal of Outlook contacts not in groups or subgroups. That means that the Act, if it's not part of the Act group, these contacts will be removed in Outlook, as well as the second option that we've enabled, that any activities that are related to those contacts are removed. And also we've enabled the option that we will only remove contacts that are related or being created by the 123 synchronizer. So let's now synchronize the contacts. Click on Process, and it will process all the contacts. It will go through, add all the contacts that we have, that we've added the Arizona contacts, and then it will subsequently remove any contacts that do not belong to the group, ending with just 19 contacts in Outlook, therefore maintaining a one-to-one relationship between your Act group and your Outlook group. And now for a final demonstration on what happens when you add a contact in Outlook to the dynamic group in Act. So double click in Outlook. Let's create a test contact, dynamic 1, and let's just save it. Make it real quick and save it. So now we have 20 items on our dynamic group or now grouping contact. So we'll go back to the synchronizer and synchronize again. So it will go through all the contacts, do everything, and check that everything is okay, and will tell us that there's a contact being added in Outlook. So we just click on Synchronize, and it added that contact to Act. So now the interesting part is in Act, if we go, let's go to the dynamic group and see what happened to the membership on the dynamic group. Here's the test contact dynamic is now part of the dynamic group, and if we look at where it came through, it's actually a static contact that gets added to the group. It's not a dynamic group. This terminates our presentation on synchronizing Act dynamic groups with Outlook. The objective, of course, is to keep the number of contacts in Outlook to be always the same as in Act. Plus, if any new contacts are added in Outlook, that they become part of that dynamic group selection. and when contexts are removed in Act, that they're reflected in Outlook.